going, bro, we hopped up on that bus. It's Chill, Hight, and Raji, glad you came to whip with us. Got no GPS or telling what we gon' discuss. Shout out Thompson Farms, they got the melons and the nuts. We like a trampoline.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Big Ugly Sports Show, brought to you by Premier Properties of Dublin. We are your first source for mediocre sports coverage. My name is Chill. Let's meet the big and the ugly this morning. Sitting to my right, ladies and gentlemen, he is a graduate of UGA. He's a diehard dog fan. He can make a bottle of mouthwash stink. His bottom row's seen better days, ladies and gentlemen. He is the pride of Buddy Johnson Road. I'm talking about Adam Hight, Hightower.
There's no debate. I am the pride of Buddy Johnson Road.
Same intro right here, intro music. Sitting across from him, filling in for Big Raj this morning. He's redheaded. He is arguably, some would say, the pride of Buddy Johnson Road, and I'm talking about Matt Opie Hightower. What's up, Ope?
Not much, man. Literally the only person arguing that is him. Just
I said some. I did say some.
Just bringing some have said, yeah, that could be one.
So Big Raj out this morning. Got kids that are sick, but in the last minute yesterday evening, Hight reached out to his brother Opie.
Bus off called to the bullpen.
Loyal,
bringing the big lefty in.
Loyal listener and critic of the show.
Extremely dependable.
Extremely dependable. So that leads me to one of the questions I was thinking about is what separates you from, and let me finish before you dive in and answer, because you're going to want to answer quick, from a guy like Jay Bridges, who lives right down the road, who wants to be on the show, has made that clear, and we've reached out and said he just wants us to change the time. Meanwhile, we reached out to you yesterday. You're an hour out, and here you are. What would you say separates you?
I would say first thing is I'm a normal height. Jay is sub 6 easily.
He does have a bad shape.
Yep. And
how tall would you say he is? Probably 5'8", 5'9".
He might used to have been 5'8". He's shrinking.
Someone said he resembles like a dip can.
Short and fat like a golf cart type. Yeah, I'm dependable. Jay is your guy. He's a great time, but you know what you're gonna get. Disappointed.
Yeah. We could probably list each of us could write down a list of the times he's disappointed us, and it would be rather lengthy.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming in this morning, Opie, driving all the way here. Hight said you would be here, and you're here. So me and you, Adam, can kind of rehash. Opie can kind of chime in a little bit. Just tell everybody kind of what we did Saturday. And
we had the Raider Rumble Golf Tournament. It was a great fundraiser for West Lawrence Raider golf. Is it golf or golf and football? Or
just golf.
Just golf. So you and Whitney Alligood put on a great tournament. Green Acres hosted.
Mainly Whit, but
he did a lot of or most of the work. But Green Acres was in great shape. Greens were rolling good and everything. Gerald had it looking good out there. But we had a great time and we had a little pre-show. That was fun. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it ended up going well.
It was funny how you talked about the Masters feel out there, the redneck gym ants over here, and you could hear the birds chirping, and you literally could hear the birds. That's all I could hear throughout the whole thing, and I was thinking, man, what a time those guys must have had out there doing that pregame show.
It was good times. Yeah, and I'll be honest, we did not, I thought we'd be 10 under. The over-under was 9.5. We did not get to the 9.
We did 6? I thought it was 7. We were 7. But our score was 65 and par 71. So I can't figure out either we got hosed on something. I don't know.
We were 7 under.
I thought so too, but we're 65 on the board.
That's on good. Well, anyway, we were 7 under because that last birdie that we hit on 15, that put us at 7 under. So I don't care what that scoreboard said. We were 7 under.
You can't depend on math.
No.
That's arbitrary.
And I thought we underachieved.
We did. Because we started out on the heater.
Ooh, did we?
We were 2 under after 3 holes.
2 under after 3.
And for us, that's setting on fire.
Did you underachieve, or do you just think more highly of your game than you should? And you hit it right on the head.
Well, I mean, I don't think highly of our game, but I thought amongst really the three of us, not excluding Raj, who did have a big putt, but
yes, he did have.
I mean, the 25-footer or better, probably.
Yes,
from the fringe. I mean, and I went back and watched it, and you'll see it as I'm editing the videos. When he hit the putt, you could tell he was not trying to make it. I mean, it would just look so awful, and it just trickled on up there and went in. But
he acted like
it was nothing.
Get in the cart.
Tracking the whole way.
Yeah, tracking the whole way. But
Tiger vision.
Almost beat it to the hole.
Oh, Tiger Rogers. I thought we could have done better. But our issue was we kept I bet we hit or attempted 30 or 40. I mean, 8 or 10 30-plus foot putts for birdie. Like, we were rarely up there with a makeable.
Yeah.
Like, where we could use mulligans. We finished, I think 3 of us had a mulligan left when we finished the round just because we thought eventually we were going to have a putt that we could eventually make, but
nope.
Didn't pan out like that. But
yeah, well, I will say that was probably Roger's only contribution was that one putt.
Well, if you ask him, he carried us pretty good. Shout out to Jelly and Pat
himself
and Team Pissing for not finishing in the top 2. Just really a letdown. I told Jelly they're like a travel ball golf team. I mean, them 4 will go at the drop of a hat, and they came into Dexter to the Dexter Country Club right there just thinking they was finna run things, and
Rude awakening. Somebody dropped that 52 off on them.
Yeah, they had that humble pie.
Yeah. Those pencils have erasers on them sometimes.
I was that whenever they called out the winner, Jay yelled out something about that dude being a cheater. So
Well, Spanky was on that team. And shout out to Spanky Slaughter, man. You talk about a fan of the show. Every time I see him, he's like, I saw him yesterday at Anna Charles's PTO thing, and I just on Monday, so 2 days ago, put out the pregame show, and I was talking to him about it. He said, "Yeah, I've already heard it. I listened to it the other day." I mean, he's usually the first text when we don't have a show come out that week. He's the first guy that's hit me up on nowhere. He along with a handful of other guys is if we had a daily show, he's in. He's in daily.
Yeah.
But shout out to him. He was on the winning team, so they must
be out on the daily show. Honestly, just having to be here this early and set up everything I can normally do, and it's just too much to do it every day.
Hey, and also tip of the cap to Hight this morning. Who, for those of you that are watching YouTube, this is he put the setup up this morning, and I was running on time, and he was early, which is good for him. So we're here, we're running.
Tip your cap, didn't you?
I tip my cap.
Appreciate you.
So, but yeah, anything else? Opie, you feel like you could have helped us, you think?
Easily better than Jay. And sounds like Raji,
So
yeah.
Okay, you're better than Jay? Well, but here, I'll say this one thing about Jay now. He brought a lot to the table as far as sponsorship. Bridges Electric covered the cost for that team.
And some have said when people think about Parish Construction, they think you. And so
those two, for me, are synonymous.
We sponsor a lot of golf tournaments.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, next time.
I didn't get asked.
Next time.
So can you be on?
I love to play golf.
Can you have your ears peeled for the Warner Robins area, the tournaments happening there, where the bus team travels up and?
Sure.
Me, you, Raji, Chili Dog.
Would you say a prerequisite is entry fee covered? Is that?
I know who I'm working with here. Yeah.
I mean, if we're traveling on Robin, this has to be all expenses paid.
I mean, you're acting like we haven't done this before.
Okay.
Not an attorney, though.
Not an attorney. Not in that setting.
High stakes.
Hey, and if I recall, we played and we actually destroyed you and Britt.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Mm-mm. And y'all paid for it. And we said thank you. We felt bad. It was like, thank you, but we didn't really mean to do y'all like that, but thank you.
Yeah.
Rainy day.
That's good marketing. You don't book your
What course was that?
Southern Hills.
Southern Hills, nice course.
Yeah.
Rainy day.
Lady
it was a rough day.
Lady in the clubhouse would not get me anything to eat. Britt walks in. She's like, "Yeah, I can get in. What you want?" She comes out with chicken salad, and told me there was nothing to eat. He can get chicken salad.
This is more of that Hightower attitude that I keep hearing about.
Is there anything to eat? No, sir. Okay, thank you.
Not for you.
I mean, if anybody ought to know the Hightower attitude, it should be you. Ought to be well versed on it.
I mean, it was a struggle growing up with this guy.
So, which brings us to the pride of Buddy Johnson Road. Like what? Because I've heard you say in our group text before, like you're definitely it. So what would you say now that we're both here? I mean, we're here.
He's not even top 5. I sent him a list the other day.
He's not top 5.
I did a high top 5, Buddy Johnson Road.
Uncle G.
It was.
I didn't even respond to that.
Yeah, he didn't.
It was ridiculous.
So it was a guy named Brandon Sheffield who used to live down the road. Our buddy ours growing up.
Well, are you number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then I'm starting at 5 here.
Okay.
Then it was I can't
Surely be Manners in there somewhere.
No, that's Morgan Road. He's on Morgan Road, top 5 for sure. Big Minner, it's a tight race, me and him for number 1. Then it was my grandpa, and then it was my dad, and then I was 1. I can't remember who was, or he may have been number 5, but it was a distant.
You didn't have it, Opie, you didn't have it as hard growing up as Hight did, just having to wear, not just barefoot down the dirt road, stepping on rocks. I mean, that's what made him.
Will he have a guest appearance in the Ballad of Buddy Johnson Road?
You talking about the Buzz 15?
Yeah.
I had every bit of that, plus I was raising him. So
now you're taking shots at Uncle G.
Wow.
I mean, we grew up together,
Uncle G couldn't raise him myself? Wow.
Sorry, times absentee father.
So you would consider yourself the pride?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
It's hard to argue with that. Hard to argue with the hands up like that.
I guess we might have to work on the intro then. Intro for Hight. So before we dive into some Braves baseball here, let's take a listen to our sponsors. For all of your commercial and residential real estate, as well as property management needs, give Premier Properties of Dublin a call at 478-274-1606. Their customer service is unmatched, and I can personally guarantee that they will work with you to get you the deal that you want. Again, that's Premier Properties at 478-274-1606.
This is Brad Meeks, owner of Brian's Giant Subs. Thanks for listening to the Big Ugly Sports Podcast. Come see us today to grab your favorite sub, 1632 Veterans Boulevard in the Oaks Shopping Center, Dublin, Georgia.
Are you tired of overpaying for your cable? Do you feel like you're not getting your money's worth? I've got just a solution for you. J2 Streaming Services. With over 9,000 live channels and packages starting at $15 a month. Visit www.j2streaming.com. Also, Big Peach Car Wash coming before long across from Walmart. Be looking for that. These car wash going to be clutch as you ride down Highway 80 this summer. And Blackshear Beverage, just if you're getting down there on the lake, looking for a place to go visit, go by and see the folks at Blackshear Beverage. Great people, great last name, and just good people. So, hi, it's time for our Brian Subs drawing. Let's do, how many total do we have, Hight, roughly?
32 over here on Instagram, and I think you had a few on Fabo.
Let's call it 40.
Sure.
All right, so our lucky winner this day is 15. Number 15. Count them out who we got down there at number 15. It's a good drum roll. That's I got.
say drum.
All right, what we got?
We got a loyal listener here.
Okay.
Big fan of the show. Fellow UGA grad, Whitney Hobbs.
Whitney Hobbs. Shout out Whit.
She's Bass Physical Therapy, Dr. Hobbs over there. She's constantly on the road providing in-home healthcare services and listens to the show every time it's out. So glad a loyal listeners winning here.
So don't give Corey any of it. So make sure, thank you, Whitney. Make sure you go by Brian's. Tell them the bus team sent you. They'll have your name on the list. And again, thank you to Brian's for providing that sub. So before we dive into some Braves baseball here, I know we're all three, pretty loyal Braves fans. Did either one of you, and it's tough to get some Hawks talk in here, I understand that, but did any of you dive in last night? Just a quick yes or no on it.
I checked after I woke up.
The highlights. I'm more of a highlights guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked you to dive in yesterday, I know, and you said okay.
We had a ball game, Brooks and the Deadly Reds, 7-8. We had a ball game, we ended up in a tie.
What time did it end? What time were you home?
8:10, 8:15.
Prime time Hawks.
Okay, then I got to get kids ready for bed, in the bed, and then about 9:15 I was at the gym trying to get
TVs.
There's always a reason why not to do something.
Oh, he could have done it if it was a Friday. I asked him to do it.
There's no TVs where I work out.
You got a phone. There's a way.
I mean,
You could have stat casted it, anything, right?
well, it kind of distracts.
Do you know if they won or lost?
Hawks won.
Okay.
Told you it was a highlights game.
Ice Trey.
Listen, I was texting Adam Logue, also loyal listener of the show, just throughout the end of the game, or really throughout the fourth quarter, and I was very frustrated. And as a basketball guy, I was ready to trade Trae Young. We got to get rid of him, which I don't really know, because just watching his effort on defense, it drives me crazy. And watching, like, in the NBA, they never play defense. That's just a given. But in the playoffs, most of the time they do. He is a mismatch every single time. He can't guard anybody, nor does he try. Like, they'll set a screen on him, and he'll just stay out of the play, and it ends up we're outnumbered, and they end up scoring. Meanwhile, all the Celtics guys are just digging their heels in.
So I don't understand why the dudes on the team.
Well, he had 38. Oh, I thought you said why he's on the team.
The other dudes on the team.
Why the other guys on the team don't haul him up and make him do right? Does he just think, I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to go for 30 to 40 points a game, and I'm going to do me?
That's his role.
He seems like a bad teammate, and if you watch certain things he does, you can see the body language of the other players for little things like anytime there's an end of quarter buzzer beater, he's going to shoot it. If there's 5 people on him and there's somebody, like I was watching the game before last, my boy Bogdanovich is down there and he's wide open. Now there wasn't a whole lot of time left, but he could have pushed it up to him and he fired it from half court, and you just saw Bogey go like, "What you doing?" Just hands up. So stuff like that happens all the time. But
I believe Trey had 13 assists last night also.
he did. And he didn't turn the ball over a lot last night, which was good. But every time I watched him on defense, it was just very frustrating. Well, then they pick up their energy and they start playing defense, and then Trey scores 14 in a row, which was, and the Hawks were down 13 with 6 minutes left, and then just steadily crept, and he hit back-to-back threes to tie it up. They come down, questionable blocking foul on Trae Young. He actually tried to take a charge, which, again, not in his wheelhouse. They call a block, knock down both free throws. We go down one. We're bringing the ball up. Marcus Smart, terrible foul. Sends it to the line. Trae Young knocks the ball. Anyhow, down one with 5 or 6 seconds left, and we inbound the ball. Trae Young comes in there and just knocks down a tray.
If you're down one, do you have the guts to pull up from 3 that deep, down one?
And it changes my whole feel about it. Like I'm still angry at him way more this morning if he misses that shot. I'm talking about how bad
he
the
hits
shot
that
was.
shot, you're over there chilling with him.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Oh, Ice Trey, baby. I mean, even made a Facebook post about it. And they did it without DeJounte Murray, who's the second leading scorer. He was suspended for.
So the series is 2-3 now.
Mm-hmm. Back in Atlanta Thursday.
Okay.
I've already reached out. I may push.
Do they tie?
I think they do. I think Atlanta's going to play really well at home. The crowd's going to be it's going to be tough going back if we get to a Game 7. But
listen, I just want to put this out there. If there's, I know it's going to be hard to come by one. If there's a +1 situation, I'm in.
On Thursday, no, you're not. There's no way.
Sure. What I just say? All right.
Okay, I'll offer. There's a all right, go ahead and pencil in. We're going.
I'll be there.
All right.
Wait, you just say they were free, right?
No.
Oh, they're not free from our friend.
No, you ruined that. Remember how we talked about that? You ruined every bit of that.
Ruin that.
Have we got any more calls about it?
Well, those two things may or may not be related.
I've tried to get them. So, exciting times for Hawks. We've got a shot. That was the game that we needed to win to take it back to Atlanta. It's going to be electric Thursday. I may push. I don't know.
It'll be a letdown. Celtics win.
You're all mad at him, but are you mad at DeJounte for being out of the game for bumping an official?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't think it was, like, I saw the video. Players do worse than that in the games. Like, NBA officiating in general is just a lap. Like, you just don't ever know what you're going to get. They don't call this, they don't call that, then they call little things. But, I mean, he walked by the ref frustrated after the game, said something to him, and bumped his shoulder. I mean, come on, suspended a game? How about?
I mean, made contact.
A slight contact. Did you see it?
I did.
It was not much contact.
I feel like you're an enabler.
What I will say that officials, and not that I have a great history with officials, but to me the problem with officials, there's zero recourse on officials for when they do things wrong. They not just a wrong call, because people are going to make wrong calls, but when they try to show people up, or they eject somebody, or they start popping off at the mouth. Because I've seen and experienced it firsthand where a referee crosses the line and there's nothing you can do about it. But as a coach or a player, you can get hauled up, you can get tossed, you can get ejected, you could cost your team a point, whatever. Anyway.
So I'm calling Hawks win. Hawks win.
No chance.
There's chances. But all right, so let's go Braves. 1-2 in a row, coming off another win last night. If you want to date back, Spencer Strider the night before. Thoughts on that, Opie? Him just out there willing and dealing.
It's been a long time since we've seen a Braves pitcher be that dominant. I mean, he's coming out there, and I mean, you watch him, and he has the dominance of a closer over 7 innings, 8 innings. And we've had good pitchers, but nobody who threw as hard and was just, I keep saying the word dominant, but he really come into his dominance,
What separates his, like, the pitcher the Braves were facing, I don't know if it was last night or the night before, was running up 97, 98, like, and the Braves were hit. Like, what separates, you think, his 99 from somebody else? Because it's like they can't, his is just like it just disappears before it gets there.
I think it's late movement on the fastball, but the slider is so nasty, and it looks a lot like the fastball when it's coming out. I mean, they have to respect it because he can throw it for a strike.
To me, he looks like he's in one of the best shapes of any. Like he looks like he works out. Like he's just jacked. And for some reason, I think of pitchers as either being really tall and lanky or just kind of chubby and out of shape. And he doesn't fit either of those.
He don't fit that mold. I had a question for both of you before we keep talking about the Braves. I was thinking about this, and there's a lot of parameters on this question. Okay, so just bear with me, and I may add some while you're trying to answer it. Okay. All right, say you had a choice to make. One of them was keep doing what you're doing, no change with your life you're living right now. The other one is you get a shot at the majors, okay? And it's a year-to-year basis. But once you go and you decide to do that, if once it don't work out and you're out of money, you are homeless. Like, you can't go back to your job now, and you can't get another job anywhere else. Tough parameter, I know. But here's what keeps you in the league, and it's on a year-to-year basis, okay? And you get $10 million for every year that you complete the league, complete the year. You have to get 40 hits in a season. Here's no batting practice, none of that. You literally show up, you get on deck swings, you get no tee work, and you step up in the batter's box and you play the game.
Could I get 40 hits in 1 year?
So I'm
1 year, but no
9 to 12 pitches a game,
and that's going. I said 50 at first, which is essentially one every 3 games, 162 games. So
I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
But and again, you're stepping, like right now, you're walking out there to the batter's box. You're not training. There's no afterthought. You just step in there to try to hit and get back in the dugout. But if you do it you make 1 year is $10 million, then you get to go for another year. But
zero chance.
If you gave me this deal with 10 hits, I think I'm homeless still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking, so I went high. I thought, okay. I figured one of you might bite on it.
If you go
because $10 million is a lot of money.
If you go 2 hits, I'm thinking about it.
I think, I don't know, man. Like what? By the end of 162, if and they don't bench you ever,
you lead off every game, so you're getting the most at bats possible. 4 to 5.
But you said no BP.
So how many games?
That's terrible.
How many games a year are we blown out by 14 and they bring in a second baseman to pitch? And
that might happen once.
I probably hit 80.
That might happen once.
I can hit 80.
But there's zero chance you hit 80 right now.
I'd smoke 80 miles an hour.
Like right now.
Give me a week.
Give me a week.
I've watched your hands. BP. I've watched your hands barely get through on a golf ball.
I set up too far inside. It was over my head. So do you remember the alumni game we played?
Yeah, I do.
Who was the only guy that got a hit and smoked one off the fence?
Was it coming 80?
It was coming about 70.
Yeah, it was coming about 70. If you're allowed BP,
I'm going to sneak some BP.
If
Cage rat.
If you're allowed BP, how many hits are you getting?
Okay, well then BP is 60 miles. You're not getting a look at 80. It's 60 miles.
Look. Let's change the parameters here. Yes, I want to know where. I want to know where he's at. Like if you get to see 80 or you get to see you see whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You get to train for a whole. Let's just. If you could
now
train,
he's a player. Now you just made the majors. Yeah. Well, if you played high school and were really good and got drafted now. No.
From now to you get to train as much as you want. How many hits are you getting?
I'm at Zuna level.
So
I'm hitting about 92.
I saw something last night on him that said his batting average wouldn't even be considered legally intoxicated. It's like .73. Okay, so I was anxious. I thought one of you might say you could do it. Take a shot at it for 10 years.
He's the closest. He wants to say it. He wants to say he can do it.
All it takes is one time OP. 10 mil, and then it's after that. You're like, all right,
20 hits. Could you get 20 hits for over the course of an entire season, and you get as much BP as you want?
Yeah, I think so.
What kind of hits are they? They bleeders? Are you beating out a ground ball short?
So they look at the numbers. They start shifting the shortstop over. I lay down.
Well, they're not allowed to shift. You're not allowed to shift anymore. So that's how.
I'm a lefty. I'm quick out of the box.
Lay down each row. I'll say that about you.
Laying down a bunt. All right. Back to the Braves. You got some. I like Opie's got the notepad in here. All right.
Well, here's what I like about Opie. This guy, he felt this was a job interview situation. He's got coat. He's got collared shirt. Now he didn't go tie. That would have
the job you want,
And he's got his hair fixed. It looks good. He looks good. Way better than that sloppy joker that normally sits.
This may be the highlight of my day, but I do have the rest of the day.
Allegedly, you've got some work after this.
Got a big presentation later on. I was more worried about preparing for this than that, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So you got some Brave stuff down there?
I've got a little blind player comparison here.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who it is.
That's pull that mic a little closer to
That's the blind part.
There we go.
That's how you get that. But we're going to talk about, tell me which player you would rather have on your team. All right, player A bats about 100. Player B bats about 200. Both players are at the end of their career. They probably in their last year. Player A has 2 home runs, show some pop. Player 2 barely makes it to the outfield.
So, a while ago it was player B. Now he's player 2.
Excuse me, player B. That's a typical blind player mistake. That happens.
Yeah.
It's in the business.
I'm so confused right now. I need you to draw on the board.
A equals 1, B equals 2. So we
got 100 batting average, 2 home runs, 200 batting average.
Yeah. 200
flaking it to
not
the outfield.
Sniffing the middle of it.
So Rafael Belliard.
They bring the guys. Rafael Belliard has more pop than this guy. Player A swings really hard. I mean, just out of his shoes every time. Player B barely makes a little breeze. Light swing.
Is hitting ball?
Does not. No.
He's hit 2 balls.
Could you please keep up?
Player B
/2
barely gets it to the grass.
But he's batting 200.
Okay, I got you.
Player A is a good clubhouse guy, by all reports. Player B, little attitude, kind of seems like he doesn't need to earn it. He just comes in and owns the place. So, given those parameters, would you rather have player A or player B?
In my mind, I'm going to just give me a real quick rundown. A, like all his attributes.
100 batting average, 2 homers, but has some pop.
Good attitude.
He's hard, good clubhouse guy. Player B, he does hit about 200. Never going to run into a home run. Doesn't swing very hard, and has a little attitude problem. Really,
I'm taking player A.
Yeah, I feel like that. So, the big reveal, Adam, you got a choice.
I like batting averages in school. No. You're player A.
I like the clubhouse guy.
Player A is Marcelo Zuna. Player B is Adam his senior year.
Oh boy. I can see this was a mistake having him on the
But you shot high with player A2's batting average. Just a little high.
I was going to say, that's just because I didn't want to embarrass him.
Oh, that's good. Hey, a lot of homework behind that, Opie.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
That's good. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming.
Oh, man, I can't wait to hear Joe's reaction to this. He'll be texting the group about it.
I thought I was going to give it away when I talked about how lightly you swing. Don't even swing hard.
It's nice and easy.
Yeah. Slight breeze.
Before we go into Hight's High Five, I have another one that's golf related. I saw this somewhere on the internet. Both of you are, avid golfers, I would say. Would you rather hit the ball 330 and hit the fairway 50% of the time? So 1 out of every 2, we'll just call it 340. 1 out of every 2 is pipe music down there, and the people in the crowd love it. Or would you rather hit it 240, 100% of the fairways?
Depends on where my misses are.
350% of the time. Don't even have to think about it. At this point in my career, I'm a scramble golfer.
So you're contributing every 9 out of 18.
If I'm hitting 9 fairways, 350, I'm getting a lot of invites.
Or you could be the guy that is just Mr. Like we know he's throwing a 240. Now we can go, well, not me, but now somebody else can rip.
You can dime a dozen. 350s.
Where are my misses?
They're not on the fairway. Could be. Yeah, there's
not playable.
Could be anywhere. Not necessarily dropping every time, but you don't know. You may hit one. But when you hit it, when you whoops on that thing, it's right down the middle. Or you're just a nice, easy, just 2 foot right out there. Play your second shot from dead center of the fairway.
I'm running 240 out there, down the pipe every day.
This guy's chasing 80. I don't know why.
If he's 240 down the middle every time is a good way to get you to 80.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Because if you've seen, you hadn't, but when you see the video and you see Hight with them irons in his hand, from 240 out, he's an iron. He's putting for birdie 98% of the time.
I know my rounds, and the reason why I don't go lower is because I lose too many balls in the trees off the tee box or the water. So I feel like if I'm consistently in the mid to low 80s if I don't lose any balls off the tee. Probably dipping in the 70s.
And now you're buying top end balls.
Well, I'm already doing that.
Well, then he's just going to hit him in the woods with his irons.
No, it's not true.
Not true. You seen him?
Hitting 350 off the tee is special.
But 350 not on the fairway is a tough second shot because it's a long way somewhere.
350 in the woods, I'll take that.
And that kind of led me to something I wanted to ask. And what do you think your score would be on 18 holes if you were able to, for one whole year, you did nothing but golf? Like you're a professional golfer. You wake up, you eat healthy, which unless you're John Daly, but you're eating healthy, you're working out, training specifically for golf, and then you go into the range working golf. What do you shoot?
Do we have to eat healthy? Is that an option?
Sure. You don't have to.
All right.
You can look like you're 330 and still get out there and pipe it, I'm sure.
So we've got people training us?
Yeah, you get lessons, you do everything. You're getting lessons. You've had a club fitting, you got the best equipment you can get.
For a whole year?
Is it a 1 year?
1 year.
I think I could consistently be in the mid to upper 70s then.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm sitting 70.
I'm not par. I'm still not par.
3 handicap.
I'm a scratch golfer. That's where I feel like I'd be.
I'm not surprised.
One hole. That's not.
Yeah, but people get that all the time. Like people get trained. Like people get lessons.
Yeah, but if you did this as your job, 8 hours a day, you're working out, you're eating right, you're training golf.
But these professional golfers do that, and they don't shoot par every time. And they've done it their whole lives.
So, would you consider Jello a scratch golfer?
What is scratch is par? What do you?
No, you can consistently shoot par or under.
I think Jello's probably I would say he's a 2 to 3 handicap. So I don't.
Professional golfers are playing on a course that's set up completely different than what.
Yeah, I'm talking about I'm the Green Acres Club champ. You
got a parking spot.
Yeah, they got me a spot out there with my name on it.
I think I'm not scratch. I think my handicap's definitely lowered from
you don't work
18
hard.
plus.
That's all I can figure. Over the course of the year, you didn't work as hard as I did.
He showed up late this morning. So what's his?
Where are you at on?
I'm 2-3 over.
Okay.
Hight 2-3 under.
Good scramble team right here if we all could train for a year.
You locked and loaded?
I'm ready, Bo.
$5:30 in the morning on the bus we ride. Give me your ears for Hight's High Five. Woo!
That's gold.
It's always nice to hear Roger's voice even when he isn't here.
True creative talent behind this show.
Listen, I don't care what he does. It's going to be difficult to ever surpass what he created with that little ditty right there.
Mm-hmm.
But so Hight's High Five. So I was Braves last night. Chavez is the closer last night. I don't like him in that role, and I know our current closer. He's coming back from injury soon and whatever. But I just started thinking about, man, I miss the days when we had a true dominant closer, and we've had some good ones over the years. And then I started thinking about who were my favorite or some of the best closers I've ever seen pitch. So anyway, I came up with a top 5.
Yeah, so top 5 best closers for Hight. Am I not the Hight? I'm Hightower. Should I do one?
Is this your high five?
Should I do a high five?
It is called Hight's High Five.
It is Hight's High Five.
We are both Heights.
We
That's
are
true.
both high.
I feel like I should get a high five also.
You want a high five?
I do have a high five.
Same topic?
Same topic. Yeah.
Were you thinking the same thing I was thinking?
There's no way y'all randomly just decided to do top 5 closers.
Did you what? Was it Braves last night and you watched it and you started thinking the same
I
thing?
have 5 plus 2 honorable mentions.
All right, but I gotta get to
honorable mention.
But I got this. Not
That's my high
5.
five. Okay.
Okay, well then it's
All right, then.
limited to 5.
But y'all are both saying there was no conversation about closers before y'all got here today. There's no way y'all randomly just both have 5 listed without
That's just that Buddy Johnson road in us.
Connection.
said cap.
That dirt road connection, boy.
No, he wouldn't even call me last night to even talk about the show. I had no idea what we were doing.
He kept asking. I told him. I said, "You just got to wing. Like you
I was
just,
like, what are we preparing?
It's all about
for?
reaction.
No, there's no preparation.
preparing. What's that? No, you prepare individually. You get a broad topic and you just prepare.
Yeah. Why should we come up with a plan?
Well, I think about Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn, he's not getting show notes with, he's.
I bet Theo Vaughn has a plan.
Yeah, but he's not telling other people. Like the great part about Theo Vaughn is just shooting from the hip on stuff or coming out of left field something, and then people are just reacting to it.
He's got some set points he's going to hit throughout the show.
Yeah, well, I gave you the broad outline.
The way we've done things for the last 7 months is reeled in about 22 loyal listeners, and I changed it
You
up.
don't want to grow too fast.
No. Then you got to worry about tax stuff. There's a lot of problems.
It's a grassroots campaign right here, just growing organically.
All right, Hight, let's hear them. Top 5 closers of all time.
I got Craig Kimbrell. That's number 5.
Billy, I'd love to have him
Recency
on the
bias.
pen right now. Braves bias.
Billy Wagner. He was one of. I know he only played with the Braves for 1 year.
Are you just doing Braves?
No.
Okay, just work out.
Hard to tell so far.
Mark Wohlers.
Billy Wagner was stud with the Astros.
He was great.
Yeah.
You go Wohlers rocker here?
No. Trevor Hoffman, 3. Now, speaking of Mark Wohlers, if you're listening, which you're not, because I've messaged him, tried to get him on the show. He's a real estate agent in Atlanta, by the way.
Did you send him? Hey, come on. Was it this?
Hey, this is Adam.
Hey, this is Adam. I run my sports podcast. You want to come on it? And they're like, what?
That's
So he still got a mullet? Yeah. No.
I don't know.
He probably needs us.
He should.
More than we need him.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude can barely sell a house up there. All right, so Trevor Hoffman, 3. What? I can't remember. What did he come in? What song was it that he?
I don't remember.
Come on. Does anyone remember Trevor Hoffman? Okay. Number 2, John Smoltz. And here's what I know.
Braves got the best closers.
These are my favorites. These are the ones that I really enjoyed watching.
So is it more it's your favorite or the ones you think
That's not what he said.
are the top 5?
I don't really honestly remember what I said, but they're Hight's High Five. So these are my
Top 5 of all time.
One thing about him, when he has high five, it's his whatever it's supposed to be is his. So
these are really my favorite people. These are my favorite ones that I've watched.
I know who number one should
no
be.
integrity to this whatsoever.
But here's the thing. I could put Dennis Eckersley on the list. Okay, but the problem is he retired whenever or wasn't the guy whenever I was in first grade or something. Okay, so I'm not going to go back and put guys on there. You want me to put Raleigh Fingers on there?
If you don't, then don't say of all time before you go.
I don't remember saying of all time. Anyway, we'll check the tape.
Pretty sure.
Anyway, I said it and you agreed, and I can't. Okay. John Smoltz. And when he was in the closer role, he was nasty.
Oh, third quarter.
Yep. Split finger. Anyway, Mario Rivera won.
Okay. Now we're circling back.
Everybody's won.
Yeah.
Everybody's won.
Well, if you did say that,
I didn't want to have him one because he was Yankee, and I hate the Yankees.
Hoffman 3, and you put Smoltz at 2.
He just said all that, and you got a pen and paper over. Why weren't you writing it?
Because that's a trash high five, and I didn't.
But these are the ones. These are
really no ink on it.
Are we doing best ever or?
It's not a best ever list.
No, clearly it's not. But my 5 best of all time
Closers.
Got Eric Gagne, number 5.
Old Gagne.
Yeah, he was unhittable for a few years.
Yeah, steroids.
Well, I mean, we're not.
Okay, go ahead.
That's for a different high five, isn't it?
Number 4, John Smoltz. Love John Smoltz.
So he's trash, but he's also on your list.
I never said John Smoltz was trash. I said your list was trash.
Hey, step on up to the mic. Give me one.
Wow.
That's a lot. Now
great.
people are they're going to be literally turn the volume down every time I speak and up every time you talk.
All right, who's your 3?
Number 3, Billy Wagner.
Y'all got the same list?
A lot of similarities.
But the order is important. Number 2, Trevor Hoffman. Mariano Rivera, number 1. I mean, of course, we're going to have a lot
So y'all had one different one?
Yeah.
I was expecting a whole...
the way he's running mine down, like
it's the order. The order makes a difference. Like John Smoltz was a great closer when he closed, but he did not close for very long.
That's not relevant to what the list that I will compile.
Where'd you have him, 2? And he had him 3?
Yeah. That's a huge difference.
I had him 4. He had him 2.
And Gagne could have been on my list, but I just had a preference of Kimball over him.
Yeah.
I mean, you just listen. Let's player A and player 2. if you were just talking about if you took the list out, but you were just listening to the build up of the list, you would have thought that his list had Rivera would have been 1, but 2 through 5 would have been completely different, just based on the build up and the trash he's talking about my list, and then here we are.
It was just too Brave centric. It was just not a lot of thought into it.
Like eccentric, Brave centric.
There's a Braves bias.
That's correct.
Sounds good.
It is correct. It is correct. If anybody would know, it'd be 2 guys who's raised up on Buddy Johnson.
Rides of Buddy Johnson Road.
So Hight was just thinking more of his Braves glasses on.
He's been accused.
Roger accused him of glasses on.
He probably didn't even Google or go through the names from the past. He's just like, on the way here.
You're an idiot.
Just off the top of my head. What's my 3 favorite Braves plus 2 other guys?
But what's crazy is our list had the exact same people minus 1.
It's all about the order.
That third Braves player really fell over the top.
My honorable mentions really set me apart.
Let's hear who those were.
So,
Craig Campbell,
Dennis Eckersley, John Wetland.
John Wetland. Yeah. You could have had Rob Nin up there. You could have had, several other guys were really good. But
name one more.
Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod. Jonathan Papelbon.
Yeah. I didn't like that guy. I didn't like him.
I think one that, I don't know whether now he's got hurt, but the Diaz guy from the Mets could have eventually been. Yeah. Because nobody touched him.
Who knows, in 10 years, maybe he would be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll revisit. Yeah. We'll welcome you back in 10 years.
How about that?
You look like, what's Georgia's tight ends coach? Hartley?
That's tough.
I I wouldn't say
hideous.
Is he? I would say he wears that hat every time.
He does.
He's hideous.
Yes, he is.
I'm gonna do a side by. I need to
That's
pick
a
one
harsh
side
thing
by
to
side.
say about somebody.
Well,
It's said about me daily. So,
well, that's on you for going. I didn't know he was a hideous guy. I didn't know that's what people thought of him.
but dude,
I mean, if the shoe fits,
if you've ever never heard Edwards talk, he says he looks like I don't know what kind of creature. I can't remember what creature he says Harley looks like, but he talks about how great a recruiter he is, but it just looks like I don't know, some villain.
Yeah. Next time I come back, I want to do Ed or Dead. Oh, that's my favorite.
Dead for Ed.
Dead for Ed, yeah. That's my favorite. It's my favorite.
Speaking of Ed, I mean, thankfully he got the boot here, but he left on his own accord, and I wish him well. But he gave me all his old coaching attire, and I'm currently wearing one of his.
What a guy!
some would say it looks better on you.
Yeah.
Of course, he never wore Western Orange stuff, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Every bit of it had tags on it. Still.
All right, Opie, bring us home.
I did not prepare for this, but if you're listening, please give us a like and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, anything on YouTube. Is that right?
Hey, it might be right.
From the hip.
Okay. He took mine for social media. Hey, be sure to give us like you said, a like, a follow, a share, tag somebody on Facebook and Instagram, Big Over Sports.
That's the Eminem approach. Just take everything he can say first. He can't do it. Yeah.
I like it. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening. Like they said, give us a rating. Again, T-shirts. Who knows? At this point, they're going to be good 6 months plus in the making.
They're in purgatory right now. Yeah, we're doing T-shirts. Hey, don't worry, they're coming. Hey, wherever you at,
Get up on that.
get on that bus.
It's a movement.